Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, Miss Dia Resmisari MPD and friends. My name is Wahyu Ilahi and I'm going to present my presentation about contrastive and error analysis. So let's begin. The first, we have the way that contrastive analysis can help language teacher. The first is to predict the learning problems. Of course, the teacher uh, who already learn about contrastive analysis can predict uh, the learning problem that happen to our students. For example, bahasa Indonesia to English, and then the second is to prevent learner from making interlingual error. So by learning this subject, the teacher can prevent the students by making a mistakes in translating or making the sentence. As we know, in Indonesia and English, for example, has different pattern in making a sentence. And so by learning this subject, the teacher can prevent uh, by making the problems. And then the third is to provide base for choosing and arranging the teaching material. So the teachers can have a material that's suitable for the students by learning this subject. Of course, the students have their own levels in other language, just like in intermediate and advanced. So it is different material and different and in different way of teaching from that level. So this subject can help the teacher to arrange the material for the students. And then the second is the differences phonemes between Bahasa Indonesia and English. In this screen, we can see Indonesia has 5 vowels only, A, I, U, and O. Doesn't have a wide variation consonant and diphthong like in English. And then in English itself has a variation of vowel, consonant, and diphthongs. So as we know that English has many phonemes. Some phonemes can be found in Indonesia also. Like this example, in this table we can see English and Bahasa Indonesia. These examples show that the similarities phoneme in English and Bahasa Indonesia. In English we have date, in Bahasa we have daftar, in Bahasa Indonesia we have daftar. The phoneme is the, and then the second is blood and batik. The phoneme is a, and then the third is teacher, ch, ch. In Indonesia we have kacang, but in this table only English. Indonesia, Bahasa Indonesia doesn't have this phoneme. The first is the and the, the and the. The first is throw, and then the second is thank. Indonesia doesn't have those phonemes. And then the next is the differences between Bahasa Indonesia and English in forming and using singular and plural nouns. In forming, Indonesia has SPOK formula to make a sentence. SPOK stands for subject, predicate, object, and keterangan. For example, Susan membeli obat di apotek. Susan uh, is a subject, membeli is predicate, obat is object, di apotek is keterangan, keterangan tempat. But in English, needs only NP and VP to make a sentence. NP stands for noun phrase and VP is standing for verb phrase. So for example is Susan drinks, I drink, you drink, just like that. So we come to the singular and plural. For the black color, for the black color is English, and then the red color is Indonesia. The first is singular, need article a, an, or the in the beginning of the sentence, just like an apple, a bird, and then the woman. And then in plural, need article the children, and then followed by s or es in the end of the word, just like two bottles or three kites, and then followed by some, many, few in front of word, just like some sugar, some salt, and then many in the question sentence, like how many sugar do you need, just like that. And then we came to the bahasa Indonesia using word se followed by noun. Seorang, seseorang, sebuah, seekor. Seekor for animal, sebuah for thing, and then seseorang it for the people, for the person. And then using repeating word for the plural, just like anak-anak, and then mobil-mobil, and then kucing-kucing. So in Indonesia use repeating word. So they repeat the word, and then it means that the word or the thing is plural. And then the next is translate and analyze. The first is ambilnya di mana. The second is rambutnya bagus ya. C, filmnya membosankan. Makan yang banyak ya. Larinya cepat sekali. And then the translate is this in the right side. The first is the A, where do you take the money? So wordnya in Indonesia in English doesn't have wordnya. So we can directly use the object like this. The context is the money. So where do you take the money? In Indonesia we can say ambilnya di mana, atau or ambil uangnya di mana, just like that. And B is rambutnya bagus ya. His hair is so good. Just like in A, nya in English describe the person itself for the B. And then C is filmnya membosankan. The film is boring. Nya and then the D, you have to eat a lot. Makan yang banyak ya. You have to eat a lot. It is like a suggestion for someone, but we don't in bahasa Indonesia don't put subject in that sentence. Makan yang banyak ya. We don't know the subject, or we don't know whose the sentence is for. So we use you have to eat a lot in English, because we know in English we talk to. So in English we have you have to eat a lot. It means that we know that we talk to the opponent. And then the E, larinya cepat sekali. She runs so fast. So larinya cepat sekali. In bahasa we know we can point the object. Larinya cepat sekali. If we point a female runner in English we can say with she, but for male we use he. He runs so fast. And then the next is the differences between two languages in terms of address. As we know here in bahasa Indonesia, Bapak Ibu lapar, Pak Doni atau Bu Dewi lapar, adik, kakak, mbak, mas lapar, Susan lapar ya. But in English we just know Are you hungry? So in Indonesia we use bapak, ibu, atau or Pak Doni or Bu Dewi, adik, kakak, mbak, mas, or the name itself to show just like politeness, to show politeness to the opposite, just like older than me, like that. Pak Doni lapar. But in English, those sentence we can say in just one sentence. Are you hungry? Then the second is Anda sudah makan. Bapak sudah makan. Kamu sudah makan, Dek. Uh, in English we have you had a lunch or dinner? The explanation is almost the same with the first sentence here. Are you hungry? So in this the second sentence it shows like the politeness too in bahasa, just like to respect our opposite, our opponent. And then in bahasa we have put bapak or ibu or mbak, kakak, just to show that we respect our opponent, just like that. Okay, this is my explanation about this subject, and then I do really sorry for the mistakes that I made during this presentation. And the last I say, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.